Hello, welcome to Nathan's Garage. I'm Nathan Kershaw and this is the Mutt build. And when you have this kind of kit, it means you're going to chop the front off another Beetle for the Mutt. Let's go. Cool. All right, when am I going to start? I mean, if we cut the A-pillars off, maybe it'll go in. I'm willing to give it a go.
Not even go in, but you can hang it out and drive with it open and just strap it in. We got plenty of cord.
The wiper motor, I'll take it because I don't think mine works. So.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to stand here and I'll so, okay. so much. This car was so much nicer than mine.
Oh, really?
I bought mine at night in a rush.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was not definitely not my wisest purchase ever. It was $1,000.
Get any flex out of that? I'm scared you're gonna
It may increase a bit. Let's just see how it is now. Let's take a bit more out of this. Because the thing is, when I put it on my car, it's gonna straighten itself back out.
Yeah.
You know.
switches right there.
It's gonna get that out. There we go. Holy shit. That's insane. Oh god, don't worry about that. I've got tape on. There we go, it's in. Look at that! It's a parking lot for jumbo jets. When do you see a parking lot for jumbo jets? That's insane. So as always, Buzz Loose Rear is to the rescue. We have half a Beetle in the back that's in way better condition than mine. Okay, 1 hour 21 to home. Let's go. And we are home. Whoever thought half a Beetle would fit in the back of the Datsun? Very interesting. It's flexed in a little bit now because it wouldn't fit when it was all in one piece, but I'm quite sure it'll ping back when I do the right distance on the A-pillars when it goes on the car. Yeah, let's get it out. Okay, let's get it out. Should be simple, right? Easy. One thing I wanted to show you guys was how unbelievably clean this car was to get chopped up. The Mutt is going to have the straightest, Bondo least front end ever, and bonus, it already had a vented front valance, so I don't even have to use the one I've got. So you know what? That sticks around for the next Beetle swap, which is obviously going to happen. But yeah, super clean. I got that as well. Spare wiper motor. You never know. Oh, you know what? Hinges, hood hinges. Wonder if we can make them fit. Possibilities abound. And then look, just absolutely devoid of Bondo and pale blue. God, This was such a nice car. So since she's last been on the move, I have raised the back up that amount, whatever, inch or so, maybe 3/4 of an inch. So I've got to drive it just to get the suspension to settle. I want to spin it round, and then I've got plenty of room to put that front end on in there tomorrow. One thing I'm going to have to be aware of with the rear suspension is if I keep raising it too much, I'm going to go into positive camber, because it's not double A arms, it's just a single lower arm. So lower it down, you get positive camber, negative camber, sorry. Lower it down, you get negative camber. Raise it up, you start to get positive camber. It looks very vertical right there. Fenders to be made and all that good stuff. Still think it's high at the front. I'm looking at it, I still think it's high at the front. Well, that makes me really happy. Fender bolts up fine, even down there where all the damage was before. All bolts up fine, so that's awesome. We can use those fenders. Just got to do a little filler piece there tomorrow for where I cut out to miss the BMW strut tops, which are no longer there. But yeah, what do you think? Golf colours? Or happy days colours? Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is going to be such an awesome day. We set up the front clip with the fenders to let them settle into their shape last night. And then today, she gets to look like a bug again. And that product review that I've taken years to do, I've done an intro for it, just got to do an in-car situation. So we will get to that. They even put it in the Mutt. What do you think? That'd be fun. Okay. Oh my God. Ooh. I think I got a lift off. Oh. That's what I need. Oh, it's exciting. This is very exciting. Lovely, 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 yes. Oh, it's so good. I'll trim off a couple things. And put it on. There we go. So I cut along this trim line with my car, so we're going to be doing, I don't know what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be something around there. And then same again, so I cut it high yesterday. And we can now go and put it in. I may actually, I'm going to cut a little bit more clearance here and then put it on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Seems a bit bodge-tastic not to join it at this seam. So, and the overlap of the seam isn't that much there. It's not like it's spot welded 30 times in here. So, then gonna have a moment of grinding that. Then we've got to flatten this out, flatten that out, and then got to take this at a much sharper angle. And we're prepped. So all bare metal on both sides, and it's to the flat part. So hopefully it'll weld flat. All the brazing off the top and that second skin off the top. Whew, God, that took a good few hours. Wow, that was a lot of work. So cut just above that seam on this side. So gonna be jumping a bit of weld to fill that gap. That's flat and that's cleaned. And on this side, same again, just above, and that is flat and cleaned. And I'm gonna have to, in the future, I'm gonna have to take the doors off to finish weld behind the door hinges because it's just never gonna happen now. Test fit. Oh yeah. Oh, bloody fuel filler. Ooh, am I glad I bought a really expensive safety case, because that could have been really expensive. And a dead phone. We are getting closer. It is taking, ow. It is taking a lot longer than I thought. No surprise there. So really gutted down on that. Keep chopping more into the archway, more into the front. We're going into that cross member so we don't have to chop into that anymore, or the front fenders, and all the bugs prepped. So we're just nibbling and getting closer and closer and closer. With every nibble, we're getting closer. The main issue now, we're definitely getting close there. The main issue now, and that is, as far as I can tell, okay. The main issue is the strut tops. So I'm just kind of tickling the edges little by little to get them to have a nice conversation as opposed to an argument like they're having now. Definitely need those filler pieces because it's all over the place. We're super even on the front, centered, and that moves slightly, so that's going to come back. So I'm going to start bare metaling now. Probably throw like a tack there, a couple of tacks there, you know, just to hold it in place, then fit the panels. And the hood, drop the radiator down and just see how everything sits. We are at the point of throwing in a couple of tacks for the blue panels on here. So I've got this like guide panel here, and what I've actually done is I've pulled it out more than it would be on the bug. So there's going to be a step under here, but I don't mind that because we're going flat. We're not having this pinch weld or pinch seam, whatever. So I pulled it out to cover the door hinge. There you go. Custom body work. Same on this side. Pulled it out, so the top of it is going to be stepped out slightly. Obviously with the body not being perfectly straight, it's having to be persuaded, but front is like bob on center and bob on level. All trim lines as well. All the trim lines that, you know, when I hold it in place, they're all perfect. Right, we have several easy to cut out spot welds littered around. So it's actually in. It's as straight as this side has been in a long time. putting the front end of a car on, definitely more involved than the 15-minute job I thought it was. There you go. How surprising. What I'm going to do, because the hood won't stay on, it keeps slipping forward. I'm just unmounted the radiator. It's still on the hoses, so that's fine there. What I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to put the latch on the hood, the lock in the valance, and at least I can get the hood to stay in place and see how the side of the hood lines up with these two. And obviously the back panel gaps wise, if it needs to be tweaked, I've got two really easy spots on those two there, and I can tweak it. It's not perfectly level right now, but that's where it wants to be. So I wanted to use that as a starting point because the car it came off was really straight. So I'm gonna leave that as is for now. Yeah. And then carry on tomorrow. And that's it. This has been Nathan's Garage, and I have been Nathan Kershaw. Thanks for supporting the channel. See you in a couple of days.